Welcome, everybody, to the RDL show, the Ryan D. Leaf show. It is Wednesday, May the 12th. Unfortunately, and this has happened so much over the last few months, but a former peer and brother in the NFL lost his life yesterday. It was reported by his father through multiple reports that Colt Brennan, the record-breaking quarterback and Heisman Trophy candidate from the University of Hawaii, modern-day high school here, Southern California legend, passed away at 37 years old. Again, this is incredibly heartbreaking for the family and for everybody who's been involved in Colt's life for the last, 10 years. I came into his life about 3 years ago when a couple of his friends reached out to have me try to help him. He was struggling with addiction issues and couldn't quite wrap his head around it. He was dealing with the traumatic brain injury that came from not only playing football, but also a car accident that he was involved in about 11 years ago that seemed to manifest the condition a little worse. But he had, in the last few months, taken a step forward in that he had reached out. He had found a treatment facility. He was doing the work, but like anything, and I know this better than anybody, once an addict, always an addict, in that you can never go back and you can never just take one. That's not how it works. If it was, we wouldn't be putting ourselves in the situations that we put ourselves in. And sure enough, he thought he may have had it under control, or something triggered him, and he went off with some acquaintances, and again, in a hotel room, he overdosed and died in a hospital just 50 miles south of me here in Newport Beach, California. I watched yesterday as the outpouring of thoughts and prayers and pictures from Hawaii and the Washington football team and the University of Hawaii putting out remembrances. And I just felt sick and tired of seeing it, because that's about them. Well, that's all about them. It's all about the people putting out 140 character, hey, everybody, look at me. I said something nice about this fallen person, but they don't ever address, or the outrage isn't there, of what's going on as it continues to rage through not only the general public, but through veterans of the NFL game. Vincent Jackson, our brother, died in a hotel alone in February, sorry. We've had other former players die because of substance abuse and mental health related issues. And here again, and I watched this happen yesterday, the thoughts and prayers, or, the man's life reduced to like 140 characters. Guy was great, met him in New York, had fun, sorry he's gone so young. I mean, I literally want to vomit when I watch that play out. The University of Hawaii posts a picture of him with just dates of his life. And I think that he's been reduced to a picture and a couple numbers. And I wonder if the University of Hawaii had ever thought about Colt Brennan again since he had left. And he's recognized upon his death. You know what that does? That incentivizes some of us to think, oh, we're more worthwhile to people if we're dead than we are alive, because no one seems to want to help us or see what I'm going through and struggling with. And social media just, I watched it play out, and I don't take part in it, because I'm outraged. Now, this I can't blame this on anybody. I can't say the NFL and the NFLPA aren't doing their part, because guess what? No matter what anybody else does, you have to want to change. You have to want help. It becomes a very selfish program. It has to be about you and you wanting to change. And if you're not willing to, then there's nothing we can do about it. A lot of times when I reach out to these young men or people who are going through the similar struggles that I did, I ask them that question. I ask them, what are you willing to do to stay sober? And if your response isn't anything, there really isn't much I can do for you. I can tell you what worked for me and the solution-based thought process I have, but ultimately, if you don't choose this path, there's nothing we can do for you, and you'll end up alone in a hotel, and you'll lose everything. That's just what this disease does. I don't know this because I went to school and learned about it. I know this because I went through it, and I see that if you don't change it, you'll lose everything, and you'll try to escape the pain that you were trying to escape with the substance. That's all. It continues to be ever present in our lives, and then social media and their thoughts and prayers come out in full force. I'm sick and tired of it. I feel awful for the family. I feel awful for Colt. I do feel some relief that, he is not in pain anymore. But unfortunately, it happens too often. And because of what a great athlete and great quarterback he was, or any former player, how good they were at playing sports, in particular professional football, because, there's 17,000 or so remaining players who are still alive that played professional football. It's a very small number, and it seems like a high percentage are falling off, and we're losing them. And this is just another case. And I don't know what to think about all the stories either when they rattle off the statistics that he had in college, because they were amazing. He finished third in the Heisman Trophy. That's where I finished, from the University of Hawaii. Wasn't highly sought after out of college. My college roommate was a GA at Idaho State, and he had them all recruited out and wanted him to come to Pocatello and play there. And head coach didn't want to do it, and you saw what changed. He went off to Hawaii and did amazing things. Played in a what was considered a New Year's Six Bowl, the Sugar Bowl versus Georgia, and was an exceptional football player. Had a ton of talent. Was drafted by the Washington football team. Never really got a shot in the NFL, but once again, we're here talking about him because he's no longer here, and it's a sad, somber thing. I was very emotional around Vincent Jackson's passing. I watched this play out yesterday in real time, and I think I just felt numb to it. Like, this is, like school shootings in our country. It's just like, it's going to happen again, but as the NFL does, they put out a social media tweet or Instagram or whatever that says "rest in peace," from a team that he played for. That's all that goes into it. That's the last they'll think about it, and now it's ready to move on. Because guess what? Week 1 schedules came out. The full schedule comes out tonight in the release show. Let's welcome in my cohorts here: Jonathan Rifkin, Sky Glasgow, and Charlie Moss. Always difficult to start a show that way. We continue to see that play out. The NFL, though, fires on, right? It's a churning mechanism that nothing gets in its way. And they were looking at, how do we make the biggest splash possible? And what do you guys think? Did they do it? They released the schedule tonight, but week 1 came out earlier this morning. And the big one: who goes and plays the defending national champions? No other than the highest rated viewing team in the country, year in, year out, no matter whether you like them or hate them. It's the Dallas Cowboys heading to Tampa to play them on Thursday Night Football to open the season. What do you guys think about that opener?
Most valuable franchise in professional sports, $5.7 billion. Dallas Cowboys for the 5th year in a row. Not surprised. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I actually have a different game than I'm.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't really, do you?
Story wise, here.
Okay.
This is what the NFL wants.
Storylines. All right, I love it.
For the NFL, this is what they want. I have a better game that I'm excited for personally. That's not this game, but for the NFL, having it kick off, obviously the Super Bowl defending champions, which happens every year, they kick it off, but it's Brady trying to come back. The whole team comes back. First team in the Super Bowl era to return all 22 starters, both sides of the ball, that whole storyline. Then you have the Cowboys, who everyone wants to be good for the last 25, 30 years since they had the Aikman days, and they just frankly haven't been up to snuff with record and playoff wins and everything else. So the return of Dak and everything else is a big storyline for the NFL. So the NFL is the big win for them. I have 2 or 3 other games I'm actually more excited to see, though, as a football fan.
All right, well, let's hold off on those. Let's talk to our other friends here and talk to me about the NFL's decision to throw the Cowboys out there as fresh bait for the defending Super Bowl champions.
Charlie, answer this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, will Dak be ready to play in that first week?
They say he's supposed to be, yes.
Because if he's playing, I love it. I think it's a great matchup. I think it's enticing. I think the fans will love it. I think if not, it's a huge bust, and the Buccaneers would just kill them. Again, I'm excited because I love Brady. I love the Bucs. They're entertaining. They're fun to watch. I just hope Dak can play so it'll be an actual ball game.
I think even if Dak plays, it's not going to be a very competitive ball game, to be honest with you.
No,
Dallas is a bad team.
Every week one matchup, that Thursday game's always like a little rusty. The teams aren't looking so good. So this would be Dallas's best shot to beat the defending champs.
You don't think they have a chance at beating them?
Here's the schedule.
I think they do. I mean,
that didn't sound very confident.
No, I'm saying because it's week one, because teams are going to be rusty, because not everyone's going to be into the groove of things.
But the team returning all 22 starters that has exactly the same thing.
No, it doesn't matter. Team
doesn't matter. So that whole conversation about the fact that they're returning 22 starters could mean
you're twisting my words, Ryan.
Oh, okay,
you're twisting my words. I'm not saying that. I think it's very valuable that they're bringing back all their Super Bowl champion players. I'm just saying in general, week one when they're playing full speed again, every team was always rusty from the get-go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I think we're going to get into the spreads later. Spreads are already out too. I'm going to have you guys guess the spreads. I think Tampa beats them by 2 touchdowns. That's my thought process. But away we go here. All right, let's look at some of the week one games, which I think are incredibly intriguing. This one in particular for me, the Pittsburgh Steelers with a revamped offense, bringing back Ben Roethlisberger, heads to Buffalo, which Buffalo, you have to be right there and believe they are Super Bowl contending team. In the AFC, it's Kansas City and everybody else, but there's some teams I think in the AFC that are going to start being a part of all this. All right, we look at the Minnesota Vikings go to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. See what goes on there with the Jamar Chase signing and draft pick there. If that's going to make a huge bit of difference, or the Kirk Cousins and that offense just run through Cincinnati's defense and their offensive line like
sacks in that game because there's no offensive line for Cincinnati.
Yeah. Jacksonville, their first game with Trevor Lawrence at the helm, probably heads to Houston to battle a Texans team that we have no idea if they're going to be able to field the team. As of right now, I don't know if anybody's on that roster. Of course there is. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know anybody. I know
Davis Mills, baby.
Davis Mills, I was about to say.
Philip Lindsay.
Yeah. They drafted a Michigan wide receiver, Nico Collins. Dude's a stud, so watch out for him.
But he played at Michigan. How can he be a stud?
Hey.
He has never beaten Ohio State.
So just
Never.
He didn't play this past year, but yes, he did not beat Ohio State.
Oh, are you even allowed to call yourself a college football player if you have not beat your rival?
I think so.
I don't think you are. Like the quarterbacks at Washington State that never beat Washington, we don't consider them college football quarterbacks.
I mean,
So,
they played.
Tough.
They played
That's tough for
football.
Nico. Nico, I'm sorry you then ended up in Houston, where again you'll never beat anybody worthwhile.
You don't think
in
Davis Mills will throw in bombs to the end zone, Ryan? You don't believe in your boy?
I have belief in him. I just don't think that Michigan players will really play well ever again.
You're going at it today.
I'm a hater. I hate
Yeah,
Michigan.
you are going at it today.
You know they make freaking hot sauce? I mean, that's how, Wolverines make hot sauce. What's that about? All right, so we move on to the Arizona Cardinals head to Tennessee. Tennessee Titans looking to be a team in the AFC. They're going to battle, I think, the Colts for that division with Jacksonville and Houston bringing up the rear, figuring that out. I like this game. Can a revamped Arizona Cardinals defense with J.J. Watt and everybody take down Derrick Henry and a new look offense, because this is going to be different. Arthur Smith did an amazing job with this offense for the last few seasons. He's moved on to Atlanta. This is another big game I like. The Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City at Arrowhead for a rematch of that divisional matchup that was incredibly competitive. Are you just trying to figure out different things to circle right now?
I want it
Jonathan?
to be easier for people to see where we are, and I don't think that the yellow is doing the trick with the dark background.
I feel like yellow would do the trick if it's dark background, because yellow is bright.
It's green.
You guys are gonna have a conversation about this now. All right. Green Bay at New Orleans. All right, Green Bay at New Orleans. First off, we have no idea who's going to be starting quarterbacks for this team. Could it be Jordan Love versus Jameis Winston? Could it be Aaron Rodgers versus Taysom Hill? We don't know. Could it be Teddy Bridgewater versus Ian Book? Who knows? That's the cool thing about this. Now, I was looking at some lines because these are coming out. This is the only game. It's not. It's there. Never mind. Okay. Earlier today, it was the only game that did not have a line that existed because I think of a bunch of the unknowns. All right. Philly at Atlanta. I think Atlanta rights the ship in Arthur Smith in their first game back. Philly looks dysfunctional as they have all year long. Devontae Smith runs all over the field and does not catch a pass from Jalen Hurts. Jets. This is a good one, boys, right? Jets at Carolina.
Love it.
Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson. Who won the trade and draft mold? You know, I would have loved to see Carolina go to New York to see this happen. I heard Teddy Bridgewater on a show today about some of their prep from last year. Didn't do a lot of prep in the red zone and in 2 minutes, which is interesting. It seems very similar to what college teams do, and that's exactly where Matt Rule came from. I think he found out pretty quickly where they lost games late in the year was in the 2 minute drill and in the red zone. All right, we move down a little bit further. San Francisco at Detroit. We get Jared Goff in a familiar setting to take on the 49ers, who he took on 2 times a year. He gets them at home to see what San Francisco looks like brand new. Is it going to be Trey Lance? Is it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? We have yet to find out. We move on down to Seattle at Indianapolis in week 1. I think this is a great matchup. Indianapolis with Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson back, revamped defense. Are they going to be, as porous as they were a year ago? Is it going to have to be let Russ cook all year, or are they going to have some defensive prowess and make some stops? Justin Herbert led Los Angeles Chargers head cross country. Always looked at these games when we were West Coast teams. How many games do we have to travel 3 time zones? It's significant. You have to go a day early. It's 3 hours difference, but here's the first one of the year. The Los Angeles Chargers head to play Washington football team. Justin Herbert versus probably Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm thinking, is how that one will go. We'll see. Then we go to the AFC East, and the team that everybody's looking to be much improved, once again, the Miami Dolphins. They went with Tua Tagovailoa, and they're going to take on the New England Patriots in New England. Will it be Mac Jones? Will it be Cam Newton? What will this team look like after a ton of opt-outs and a bunch of injuries in a mediocre year where they were in a position to draft 15th overall to get their possible quarterback of the future? This New England team tries to mount a comeback in the AFC East after the departure of Tom Brady. Then we go to Sunday Night Football, and we take Denver. Sunday night is the Chicago LA one. With that last. We go Denver at New York. All right. Who's going to be the Denver quarterback? We know that it's going to be Daniel Jones in New York. We'll see how they do with advancing with getting Kenny Galladay in the offseason. Saquon Barkley is back. We'll see how much that influences what Daniel Jones does with the football offensively. They struggled offensively. They were much better defensively a year ago. See if that continues. We go to Sunday night, and the Chicago Bears head to L.A. and take on the Rams, right? Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, which one? But look at Matthew Stafford. He gets a team that he's played twice a year for the last 12 years for him, or 10 years, or whatever it was in Detroit. He gets the Chicago Bears. Very familiar with them. We'll see what the Rams look like with Matthew Stafford at the helm. Then we go to the first Monday Night Football game of the year, and we take Baltimore, travels to Las Vegas, where they open up that stadium, hopefully with a ton of fans for the first time ever after building that Death Star in the desert. We'll see if the Las Vegas Raiders have any chance of competing in the AFC West with their team. Baltimore looks to try to be the AFC North dominating factor now that Pittsburgh looks like they're going to take a step back. So those are your week one first. That first week, you need to order some healthy food because it's going to be a long year. You can eat the shit later on when things get tough for your team. But early on, I want you to order some good food. And therefore, you need to go to Sunfair. Sunfair.com. Personalized, healthy, delivered meals. Sign up. Go to the sign-up process at sunfair.com. Once you get to the enter your information page, you need to select Carl Farrow as your sales representative. And then 2, select the RDL show, the Ryan D. Leaf show, about where you heard of us. You'll get 10% off your first delivery. If you live in the LA and Phoenix area, food delivered directly to your door. You can transform your body like I have here in the last 10 months. It's been all about the food, everybody. Go to sunfair.com, click on that information, and get 10% off your first order when delivered. All righty. Now, I wanted to do this. We'll throw the schedule back up there, Jonathan, if we could. And we're going to go through.
I got you.
We're going to go through the schedule, and I'm going to give each one of you guys an opportunity to speculate on what Vegas thinks is going to happen. Now, hey, there's got to be a lot of speculation. Oh, by the way, before we get into this, we didn't talk about question of the day, everybody. Question of the day is, what is the best week one matchup for the 2021 NFL schedule? Okay, released today. Which is the best matchup? Which is the one you want to see the most? We'll talk about that at the end of the show. There are plenty to choose from. Looking forward to that. So we're going to get to the schedule in a minute, but when we do, I want the guys to go through what they think the spread's going to be. As a line has come out, and we'll see how close they get and whether they pick the favorite or not. Now, I do think road teams are going to be at a much different disadvantage than they were a year ago. Last year, for the first time ever, road teams came out on top in terms of wins and losses in the NFL, because it simply was not a real road game because there wasn't that much home field advantage. This year, back to a bit of normal. We'll see how and what that plays into it. All right. Let's start out. The defending national champions, first game of the year, guys. Cowboys at Buccaneers. What do you guys think the spread's going to be, and who's the favorite? I don't think it's going to be too hard.
I mean, it's probably 7.5 off the bat, right?
I was thinking 7.5 Buccaneers.
Yeah, at least a touchdown.
I was thinking -8, and Bucks definitely the favorite.
But Vegas will never go the even. They'll never on something like this.
Right?
Yeah, no, they always put the half.
Well, you guys were all close. Jonathan, you were wrong in terms of the even. They have the Cowboys as 6-point underdogs, so less than a touchdown.
Really?
So they have a little more confidence. They're a little Charlie Moss when it comes to the Cowboys. Where
Dallas.
Where I'm taking this Bucks team -6 and running out the door.
I think by the time this game opens, I think it's going to be up a full point. I think most people are going to bet the way that you're thinking, Ryan.
Well, we don't know who's starting right now either.
I don't think for who.
Well, just the Dak situation is up.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. Then you take Bucks plus whatever. You take the points.
It's Bucks either way.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Bills Steelers. in Buffalo.
I'll go Bills 5.5.
No, it's not that high.
Bills
Vegas
4.
loves the Steelers. Steelers opened up winning their seventh
I'll
straight
go
games
Bills
last year.
5.5.
I think the Bills are. What'd you say, Sky?
4.
I think they're 3.
All right, Buffalo, an early favorite here at minus 5.5 points, and I think Charlie's cheating, by the way.
I'm not cheating. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm just thinking about it.
All right. So Bills 5.5 point favorite. Vegas thinks
Really?
they are going to build on what they accomplished a year ago and head into another year with Josh Allen as an MVP candidate. All right, the Minnesota Vikings at the Cincinnati Bengals. What do we got here?
This is a toss-up. This is legitimately like Vikings on the road probably plus or a -2.
I'll go -1 Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'll go minus 3.5 Vikings.
All right, this is the first road favorite. The Minnesota Vikings come into Vegas today at -2.5. So just under a field goal for the Minnesota Vikings. Pretty close, guys. Very good. Very good. All right, Jacksonville at Houston.
This is a toss-up, man.
I think Jacksonville's going to be the favorite. I do. A lot of it has to do with Deshaun Watson.
This is a trap game. This is a trap game. Who cares what happens in Houston? They're going to find a way to win this game, and people are going to parlay this with like the Bucs game, thinking it's a surefire win, and they're going to get screwed.
I'll go Houston minus 0.5.
Jacksonville won opening day last year and lost the rest. I'll give them a win here, and I'm going to go Jacksonville as well, -1.
Jacksonville -1. Yeah, I agree.
Another road favorite. Jacksonville -2. They take with a rookie quarterback into the Houston, whatever you want to call it down there, and I don't know. Maybe Davis Mills is throwing balls in the third quarter. Who knows? Tyrod Taylor probably had some freak accident where the doctor was giving him a Toradol shot in his butt pregame, and it affected his neurochemistry, and he can't play the rest of the year. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Last year he lost the job in LA because the damn doctor punctured his lung when he was trying to give him a rib cartilage shot. Justin Herbert became the starting quarterback. Same thing happened in Cleveland. He gets hurt in week 3. Baker Mayfield comes out, breaks the passing touchdown record. So bet it right now. Davis Mills will break the passing touchdown record for a rookie this season because Tyrod Taylor is there and is going to be the starting quarterback ahead of him. All right. Let's go to Tennessee. Let's go to Nashville, where I will be next week. I'll be in Nashville next week speaking at an event. So I'm literally looking forward to getting back there and seeing what everybody's speculating in this Tennessee Titans team. What happens when Arizona comes to town on opening weekend?
This is a good one too. This is
Tennessee -5.
I got Tennessee 2.5.
I got Tennessee 3. I think they win by a field goal.
I love how Charlie just picks and chooses which ones he's going to cheat on. All right, Titans -2.5. All right, he's got it in front of him on his computer, and he's just I'll pick this one. I'll do this.
This kid is just he's a machine, Ryan.
He's a machine.
Do you want me to share my screen? I'll do it right now.
No, I don't want you to share your screen. That is asking for a lot of trouble. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we got the Tennessee Titans -2.5. Versus the Cardinals, a revamped Cardinals defense. That should be interesting. I kind of like Tennessee. They're -2.5. All right, the rematch of the divisional playoff game that was super good. Does Cleveland have enough to get back in the winners column as AFC North possible champions now, or was last year just kind of a fluke and people figured out Kevin Stefanski's offense and Kansas City really shows them what it's about next year? What do we got here when Cleveland visits Kansas City?
I think Kansas City's the favorite. They're at home and they're Kansas City. So I'm going to have Kansas City -4 for this, but I'm going to have the upset and the Browns winning the game.
Woo!
I'm going to go with Kansas City -5.5.
I give Kansas City a -4.5 to 5. Probably 5. I give them 5.
All right now Kansas City a very big favorite at -6. So it's as high as the Bucs. So both Super Bowl contending teams from a year ago, the Bucs and the Chiefs, are so far the highest favored teams opening weekend. They are favored by 6 points over the Cleveland Browns. We have Sky Guasco on May 12th saying the Browns are going to upset the Chiefs on opening day.
Yeah, I'll stick by that for sure.
Okay. All right, let's head out to New Orleans way. And the new starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, whether it's Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, who is it going to be for Green Bay? We don't know. But right now, Vegas, they were a little hesitant to even give this a line when the day started, the schedules came out. But they finally have Green Bay at New Orleans. What's the line, boys?
As of today, the favorite has to be New Orleans because Green Bay doesn't have a quarterback ish. I'm going to say it's New Orleans -1. And if Rodgers plays, I think Green Bay wins.
I'll go New Orleans 2.5.
Even odds. Nobody knows. Why put a spread on it?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
they love to do stuff. They love to do stuff like this, and the Saints are a 1.5 point favorite.
There are a bunch of suckers that are going to go and bet on this prematurely, and they know that, so they're going to go take advantage. If you're a smart bettor, you're staying away until you know what's happening with this game.
Well, I know that Aaron Rodgers is going back to Green Bay, so I'm running out the door right now and calling my boys, and I'm getting Green Bay plus 1.5 and betting the mortgage on it.
That seems to be it. Yep.
All right. We head out to Atlanta. The Falcons with new head coach Arthur Smith, new hybrid tight end man-child Kyle Pitts against the Philadelphia Eagles, which may be, coming in a close second to the most dysfunctional team in the NFL behind the Houston Texans. They take on the Falcons in Atlanta. What do you got, boys?
Julio's healthy. I'll go Atlanta -3.
But Julio's not going to be there.
Yeah, Julio's going to get traded.
We'll see. Yeah. June 1st. We'll see.
He has to. They don't have enough money to pay their draft picks.
I agree. But, so it's as of today. If he's not there, then I'm still – all right, never mind. Pass.
I'll go –
That seemed – you just went through a whole thing right there, my friend. A whole thing. I loved it.
I'm going to go Atlanta 4.5.
Even without Julio, Atlanta wins this game. I give them without Julio, they're like a -2. With Julio, they're like a -4.
Okay, I'll say this too. I think I would lean Atlanta because defensively they completely turned it around second half of the year. Did a great job, so I think they can turn it around. But Matt Ryan is half of himself without Julio Jones, just straight up. And that could be a problem. But a whole offseason, if Julio leaves in June, he'll have 3 more months to get ready with everybody else. All right, I'll go Atlanta. Sorry, my brain malfunctioned there for a second when we brought in Julio Jones.
All right, Atlanta -4 versus the Eagles.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Carolina, and here's the matchup: Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh versus Matt Rule. Who made the right choices? Who made the wrong ones? Joe Brady in Sam Darnold's ear. What does this look like, guys, in Carolina in Week 1?
This is an interesting one. I can make a case for both these teams. Weirdly enough,
I'm all in on.
Home, they get the home -2.
There's one answer.
I give Carolina the -2 favorite at home.
I'm gonna go Carolina -2.5.
Carolina -3. Sammy D all the way.
Carolina -3.5 right now. The Jets are a mess. Doesn't matter. I said it loud and clear on the Rich Eisen show. I may have said it on this show. Best night of Zach Wilson's life as a Jet already happened 2 Thursdays ago on draft night. All right, San Francisco at Detroit. Jared Goff, Penei Sewell versus San Francisco, and maybe Trey Lance, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. I expect this to probably be a road favorite here. What do you guys got?
I mean, just like you said, Ryan, when Stafford's playing Chicago, that he's played them twice a year, this is the same situation with Goff playing San Francisco. And so it's not like he's playing an unfamiliar team
in
the opening game of the season. So I have some confidence in Detroit. I think that the offseason for San Francisco, I think the mental fortitude aspect may be a bit of an issue because there's a lot of questions surrounding what was going to happen. And I don't know. I think that the offseason is going to be really important for the development of their new guys. So Detroit probably -2.5 is where it sits right now.
Detroit as the favorite?
Yeah, I give Detroit the favorite.
Holy smokes. Charlie?
I'm going to go Niners 2.5. I know I see your point with Goff playing the Niners every year, but that's when he actually had a defense, and the Lions don't have defense. So let's think about that a little bit.
That's fair.
The Niners smashed on the Rams anyway with a better offense and a better defense. They're healthy. First game of the season. It's going to be 5 months after this whole Trey Lance situation, which I don't think affects many people. I'm a Niner homer and super biased on this. I think it's Niners by a touchdown minimum.
Well, it's not going to be the line.
Sky. -7. The highest favorite team is the San Francisco 49ers at Detroit. -7 points.
You can't see my notes here, but I literally have -7 for my Niners. It's not going to be close. It's going to be more than that even.
Well, there you go, everybody.
How come Sky gets a round of applause when he gets?
That's what I was just going to say. When Sky gets it right, it's like yes, but when I get it right, it's like
I feel like you could play a evil villain in the '80s, Charlie. Just with the backwards hat, and it's just
Well, good thing I was born in the '90s.
He's like the bully at Ridgemont High.
No, he's Johnny Lawrence before Cobra Kai, like back in the day. All right. Here we go. That was, just everybody, like when yours were right, Charlie, everybody was pretty close. I mean, that was a complete disparity. Like, Jonathan had Detroit as a favorite. You were about 2.5, and he was 7 points. That was significant.
I'm picking Detroit to win that game. I'm saying it on my May 12th. Sorry, Sky.
I love it. I love it. Jared Goff and Penei Sewell right off into the sunset together. What a couple.
Chance.
Seattle Seahawks at Indianapolis. This is a great matchup. Two teams that I think time is running out. I think what Ballard has put together in Indianapolis is set to explode. They were hoping they could get another year out of Phillip Rivers. They had to make the move and go get Carson Wentz. They added Eric Fisher this week. If he's healthy coming off the Achilles, that could be a huge dividend. Defense is much better. They're playing in a division that's really soft, a real chance to be division champions, depending on what Tennessee does. So Seahawks, same thing, playing in one of the toughest divisions in the league. May only have one more year with Russ Wilson. Let's see. How's it go in week 1, boys, in Indianapolis?
Either way,
not good.
It depends on how you feel about Carson Wentz. The Seahawks were bottom 5 last year against the run. The Colts are going to be top 3 with the run, best offensive line in football. I'm going to give the Colts a W by a field goal, but it's going to be a great game.
They should just run the triple option with JT and Carson Wentz the entire time and just load up the offensive line.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah, no, I think the Seahawks are going to be the favorite. I think the Colts could win, but I think the Seahawks are going to be a -2.5 favorite going in.
I'll go Seahawks -1.
It's going to be it's going to be close. Indianapolis gets the way forward because they're the home team. They are -2 favorites in this game versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Ryan, one more thing here. Ryan mentioned it earlier too with some of these other games. Seahawks are opening all the way across the country as well. Like that's a big deal for a West Coast team. So that could just be swaying the favor a little bit with too as well.
I always felt like if the game was anywhere close, the home team gets 3 points. You add the road into it. It's definitely.
But Ryan, East coming west is easier than West going east.
Right? Yeah, because you gain time.
Definitely, because you gain time. It's definitely a different scenario. Yeah, there's more of a disparity, of course.
Right. The Ravens going to the Raiders isn't created as equal as the Seahawks going to the Colts.
No.
Exactly.
Colts should be good.
LA. Speaking of which, LA travels all the way across the country.
Yeah.
To battle the Washington football team in DC. Justin Herbert's second season. Brandon Staley's first as a head coach. What does the offense look like now after he has a 4,000-yard season and a 30-plus touchdown season? I don't know. Had to put a whole new offensive system in his wake. 6 different offenses in the last 7 years for Justin Herbert. Woo. Hopefully he can make the transition and be as effective as he was a year ago. A lot of people excited about this Chargers team. A little hesitant. They still have to play in the AFC West, and we don't really know what we have with Brandon Staley as a head coach. What do you guys got for Chargers at Washington football team?
Why does everybody say do the whole coaching change? He has to deal with a new playbook narrative. This is the 6th time that it's happened. 5 other
and
times.
It's a big reason why he wasn't drafted 1 overall because he wasn't
guess what?
dynamic.
4 times in college and 1 time in the NFL, he still figured out a way to be one of the best quarterbacks at his in the class. So, to me, I feel like at this point he's sort of proven himself in that aspect. Okay, there's a transition, but he is so intuitive and he's intelligent and he's locked in. And if he's been able to prove it 5 other times, if he is an even better coach with a better staff a year in, I see no reason why we don't give him the benefit of the doubt. So that's how I feel on that matter.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Right.
I'm just like, why would you put your rookie quarterback through that?
They
Alex Smith, man.
Because he was told that he couldn't throw to Keenan Allen because he was targeting Keenan Allen too many times. You should be targeting Keenan Allen 15 times a game. He's your best wide receiver. That's why they need a new coach. I don't know. That's just how I see the Chargers situation.
I would have kept the offensive coordinator in place if I was going to ship out Anthony Lynn.
I'm going to be rooting for the Chargers every single week. I love my boy Herbert. I want him to win as much as possible. This particular game, I'm going to go Washington football team. I think they have a better overall squad, and that defense in Washington I think is still underrated. I would love Herbert to win this game, but I think Vegas will have Washington as a favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to go Washington -3.
Oh, I didn't get my spread. Washington is going to be -2 in Vegas, but the Chargers are going to win by a touchdown.
All right. This is the first time unanimous. You guys were wrong. Washington football team, a 2-point underdog to a traveling Chargers team.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's really surprising to me.
We've heard a lot of people. Yeah, we've heard a lot of people today up in arms about the disrespect from Vegas around their Washington football team as a dog at home.
They made the playoffs last year.
But, I know.
Kind of.
I mean, the NFC East, where you only had to win essentially 6 games.
They competed against the Buccaneers in the playoffs.
They're the only team that played them well.
Yeah.
Actually.
But this game will be a test to see if the revamped O-line for the Chargers will actually hold, because they're facing one of the best.
It's pretty good too. You know, adding Lindsley, I think is a huge factor there. All right, let's head to Foxborough. All right, what does New England look like with all the opt-outs back? Some free agent additions. Who starts at quarterback? And what does Miami look like after what I would consider a successful year, but also a very interesting one in terms of where they go next, offensively, defensively, everything. What do we got? Dolphins at New England.
Feels successfully underwhelming, I guess, because I feel like the expectations around Tua were just higher than where they were, but they still found ways to stay in games. They were the team that lost more games by 1 possession than any other team in the NFL last season, if I remember.
It's a big reason why Tua got the opportunity to start, because Fitzmagic just kept, he was so careless with the football, turned it over a ton, lost games they probably should have won because the defense was so good.
Games. Yeah.
Yep.
Nelson Aguilar, 2 years for 26. Good for him. Not great for the Patriots. I don't know. I still think the Dolphins are going to be the favorite. I don't think that anybody really trusts the Patriots. I don't trust the Patriots. I think the Dolphins come in like a -1, if anything.
You go, Sky.
Just New England's got to be the favorite. Opening day in Foxborough, they get half their defense back. Cam Newton's going to be the starter at least day one. Bill Belichick ruins young quarterbacks. Did it twice to Tua last year. I got Patriots.
Yeah, I was going to say I got Patriots. I'll go -1. Patriots -1.
I could see the Dolphins winning the game, but
no, I do too. But I think Patriots definitely have to get the nod, being at home in Foxborough. Belichick getting some time with his team, getting players back. So I'm going Patriots -1.
All right, Patriots -2.5 favorite at home against their NFC or AFC East rival. All right, let's go down. Let's go down the ramp a little bit to New York, to the Meadowlands, MetLife Stadium, Denver. Who's going to be their quarterback? Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Goes into New York. Not me. What do we got there, boys? What do we got there?
This one to me is a toss-up. This has kind of been the most difficult for me to put a pin on. I'm going to say Rodgers isn't the quarterback for Denver. So it's either Teddy or Locke. I don't trust either one of them, even with a good team. I'm going to take the Giants by a point reluctantly. If Rodgers is in Denver, I'll sway that, obviously.
I'm going to go Giants 3.5.
Giants are bad too, though. Ugh.
Is Saquon back opening day?
Yes.
Okay, then the Giants are going to win. -1.
All right, Giants -1.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Jonathan Rifkind.
Oh, he had to have something in front of him. He was cheating.
I got him by 1, too.
You have my screen up. You're literally looking at my other screen right now over here.
All right, we go to Sunday Night Football. The Chicago Bears travel westward to break in, hopefully, SoFi Stadium with the fans for the first time against the Los Angeles Rams in the debut of Matthew Stafford, somebody they're very, very familiar with. What do we got, guys? Bears at Rams.
Yeah, well, Goff being familiar with the Niners does not matter in that game. Stafford being familiar with the Bears with a much better team than he's ever had against the Bears definitely matters. I'll take the Rams. I got them by 5. That seems maybe a little extreme. I'll take Rams by 4.
Yeah, I love my Bears, but I gotta go Rams 4.5.
Ooh, Price is Right rules. I like it.
I think the Rams are going to win. I think they're a 5.5 point favorite.
All right, Rams go on Sunday Night Football on NBC as a 7-point favorite over a Bears team.
Smokes.
That's a lot.
I had them at 5. It felt long.
Are you kidding
the two teams that have the four teams with the highest
goodness.
point spreads right now: 49ers, Rams, Bucks, Kansas City. Really, almost like the four of the last 3 Super Bowl teams have been in there. The Rams, the Bucks, the Colts, the 49ers, or the 49ers, and the Chiefs. So
the Bears are a 7-point dog. Are you serious right now?
But if Justin Fields goes, it probably flips and makes the Bears -7 favorites.
I was thinking -15.
Not a chance.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what a lot of people are, hope and pray. All right, last one. We'll pay some bills here before we get to some stuff here at the end of the show. Baltimore travels out to Vegas to launch Allegiant Stadium, the Death Star in the desert, there for the Raiders. First time any fans will be allowed, most likely. That place could be rocking. They placed the black hole right at the end there with just right on top of the players. Should be an unbelievable viewing atmosphere. What do we got? Ravens go to the Raiders. What do we got, boys?
Ravens big.
Really?
The
Raiders
Ravens are going to blow them out, but I can't believe I want the Raiders to win just because it would be cool for them to win the opener at Allegiant with
the NFL. The NFL needs the Raiders to win this game, but they have no defense, a bad offensive line. I don't trust.
They also
Derek
have
Carr
Allegiant Airlines is the tenant for their stadium, and of all the tenants to have, that's a bad one. So I don't think that they should win this game either.
Ravens -4.5.
Probably more. It's probably Ravens by 6.
Nah, but they're away still.
Yeah, they got to travel and all that.
Okay,
I'll stick with
49ers
Charlie.
are a touchdown favorite.
That's the Lions, though.
Yeah, I'll go 5. I'll go 5. Ravens 5.
Jonathan Rifkin, Raiders are going to be 5.5-point underdogs. So there you go, everybody. That is week 1 spreads. What the guys thought.
Smoked.
I wrote down before the show. I got every one of them right. I am awesome at picking games.
Oh my god!
Come to me. As anybody knows, if you bet with me last year, and let's say you bet, $10 a game, you made $110 last year if you would have followed my run throughout the whole season. So come to the Leafer, all right? Hey, all you DraftKings and betting sites, sponsor the show. We get this shit done on here, all right? And when you're watching your teams win, celebrate with a little Athletic Brew. Wow, I got Athletic Brew all over the screen, guys. It's awesome. I'm having fun here. Party. Athletic Brew, non-alcoholic brews. Brew without compromise. Shop now. Go to athleticbrew.com and click on the link, and you'll get 10% off your first 2 deliveries of 6-packs. A non-alcoholic beer. Get the great taste, less filling without any of the consequences. I always tell people I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in handcuffs. It's just for me. Some people can, some people can't. And when you don't want it, go to something that's healthy and can take care of you, low calorie, no consequences, athleticbrew.com. All right, moving on. We have about 10 minutes left. We've got to pay another bill here in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about the Tim Tebow possible signing. It's been talked about a ton the last couple of days. I'm really I don't know why I'm surprised why we've talked about I don't know why we've talked about Tim Tebow so much, because he's polarizing. He just has been his whole life, from his faith to his demeanor, the way he conducts himself. The people on the side of him should be an NFL quarterback, to him on the side that he shouldn't. He tried out to play minor league baseball. He hasn't played a regular season game in so long that at the time that he played his last regular season game, Tom Brady had 3 Super Bowl rings. He's got 7 now, by the way. And Trevor Lawrence, who's going to be starting quarterback for the Jags, was 13 years old. That's how long it's been. Urban Meyer, his old coach from college, gets the job in Jacksonville. Sure enough, Tim Tebow asks for a tryout, gets it, and it looks like he's going to be signed to a 1-year deal. Now, that doesn't mean he makes the team. Doesn't mean he gets to the final cut of the 53. It means he's on the roster and gets essentially a tryout. But this time as a tight end, not as a quarterback. Some have speculated that he could be a Taysom Hill mold where he would do some hybrid things in the Wildcat at the quarterback to give some different looks. But guess what? Trevor Lawrence can do that. Trevor Lawrence is that guy. Trevor Lawrence is Taysom Hill with a rocket of an arm. He can run. He's athletic. I don't expect that to be the case. I don't expect him to make the team. If he does, it could really backfire for Urban Meyer, especially if he gets it without merit. Now, if he shows up, balls out, and everybody on the team looks at it and goes, this guy can help us win, they'll be okay with it. But if it's like when the 53-man roster comes down and Tim Tebow's on it and everybody's looking around the locker room going, why is this dude in here? You know, he's not going to help us win. Is this true nepotism? It could really backfire. And this could be the second thing that Urban Meyer's done in his early tenure where people are going to look at, like, what are you doing? His loyalty to old friends that may bring consequences to it. When he went and hired initially the Iowa strength and conditioning coach, who was pretty much let go because of the racial tensions there at Iowa over the time that he was the strength and conditioning coach. That was one. This is two. I really think this has an opportunity of backfiring on him, or rather than, but if he can play, if he's ready to roll, if he, you know, I find it hard to believe that 9 years removed, switching to another position that he's never played before, and he's going to make an NFL roster on a merit. I find that really hard to believe. I just don't expect him to be part of the team. I think he'll get a chance to go through the process and kind of maybe give him a one last hurrah that Urban's given him, but I don't think he makes the team. You guys' thoughts?
Yeah,
you go, Jonathan.
Tebow's walking PR, it feels like. His name brand association is going to be positive. You're going to get a look either way, whether it's positively or negatively, because there are people that do receive the way that he puts out energy negatively also, whether or not you agree with the way he goes about things. That's besides the point. My point is I think that it's good for a team like Jacksonville because they've been so down in the dumps and they need the positive PR. It's sort of like the Mets when the Mets signed him to the minor league contract, right?
Guess what? We're not talking about Trevor Lawrence right now. You know,
right.
The spotlight's not on him.
We're
right?
sitting here talking
disappear.
about Tim Tebow.
It's going to be enough of that when the season starts.
Right. So we're sitting here talking about Tim Tebow, just like we did when he was playing Class AA baseball and Class A baseball down in for the Mets. So I think that's the biggest mechanism driving this story. I think that he's put in work, I'm sure, to try and be relevant at this position. But also, according to Banner Society, only 28 quarterbacks have ever actually tried to even make the transition to another position in general, whether it's wide receiver. And I don't think we've ever seen a transition to tight end before from quarterback. Have we? Not that I can remember.
Logan Thomas from Virginia Tech.
I was about to say Logan Thomas was Virginia Tech.
It took him 7 years.
Right.
7 years.
I mean, that was 7 years of actually being at the top trying to.
Yep. And Terrell Pryor from Ohio State made the transition to wide receiver.
Right, receiver. I mean, there are Matt Jones. There are a couple of guys who have done it from quarterback to wide receiver.
Ryan Tannehill went the opposite direction.
Right. I mean, so did
Braxton Miller.
What's his name? Edelman. Julian Edelman also went
Randall Ellis,
wide receiver. But I mean, we could go on and on, but I just don't think that this is not how it ever happens. Most of these guys, it happens at the professional level under professional supervision and training. It seems like if Tim Tebow was doing this, maybe he was working out with professionals, but he's not getting the experience that you need to be a quality tight end at the NFL level. So I just don't think it's going to end up happening.
Yeah, it comes down to his performance. I mean, Urban Meyer can give them attaboy, their neighbors and whatever, and like they're old friends. It's fine. He can get them a spot on the squad where they have 90 people and, get Hard Knocks down there to boost the ratings and put Jacksonville back on the map here. But ultimately, he's going to have to perform. And he's at best case scenario, he's in baseball shape, which is just very, very different than football shape. And to be a tight end, he's either going to be a passer or a pass catcher, or both, And he just isn't going to have the size probably in that time and the nuances of offensive line play and everything else that makes guys like Kittle, Kelsey, and Gronkowski legends, as they blocked so well as well. And I just don't see Tebow doing that. I wish well for the guy. I think it'd be fun if he were to do it, but there's a lot of younger kids here who have been running the last 20 years straight to get to this moment. And he just hasn't. He's been doing other things. And I think it's a long shot at best, but you know, it's going to be fun to watch at least.
I don't know how much fun it's going to be, but it's going to be watchable, I guess.
I mean, yeah, this is complete nepotism. Like, again, like, good for Tebow that he's getting a shot, but he wouldn't be in this position in the first place if it wasn't for Urban Meyer and having that connection from college. So I think the reason a lot of people are upset is just the fact that he's given this chance. He's 31 years old. He's been removed from football for what? 9 years playing baseball. Like, there's other people who would kill to get this chance. So it's just the fact that he's getting the shot at 31, playing a new position.
I don't like that narrative, though. I don't like the narrative. Ryan, what do you think about this, too? I'm just curious from your perspective. Sorry, Charlie, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I don't like the narrative of, like, oh, he's 31, he's taking away an opportunity from a 22-year-old who's trying to break out. It's like, okay, if you're 22 years old and you're trying to break out, you're going to find an opportunity.
No, that wasn't my point, though. My point is that, like, he's not, like, younger anymore. Like, he's transitioning to a new position, a very physical position.
I think he's for at least trying to put in the work to be relevant at 31. I don't think he's going to get the job.
I'm not saying I don't admire it. I just think it's kind of ridiculous that he's trying to be in a very physical position.
It's not ridiculous on his part. He thinks he's in good shape.
No, I don't think it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous what the Jags signing him. That's the ridiculous part.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Kind of like how could guys from Michigan come up with a smart idea? Sure enough, they did somehow. Bomb banana, everybody. The hot sauce. Little hot sauce for you now, coming at you, Michigan fans. Go blue. All right, so here we are. You get a Muy Muy, which is the red labeled bottle, or the regular, less spicy white bottle. It is Bomb Banana, banana-based, not to be confused with banana-flavored. Hot sauces delivered exceptional and robust chili spice. All right, go to seekthespice.com. That's seekthespice.com, all one word. And today you can receive 10% off by using the promo code LEAF, LEAF, like on a tree. All right, at checkout. Bomb Banana hot sauce, everybody. Absolutely fantastic and beyond excited to be a partner with them on the RDL show. Bomb Banana. All right. That was a fun show, guys. Started off with some sad news, but like always, the NFL can restore things with the University of Michigan. What are we looking at here?
You said that you're not sure how University of Michigan alums could do something smart. I just wanted to show you really quickly that it's the number 3 public school in the nation, so that's how.
Yeah, I don't believe in science. All right, so
I don't believe in science.
Diversity, is that an old wooden ship? I don't know. All right.
Good answer.
On Friday, we'll break down even more schedule talk as the release show happens tonight. We'll see you Friday here on the RDL show. Follow us at RDL show on Twitter and Instagram at the RDL show, and subscribe to the Ryan D. Leaf show on YouTube. Listen via podcast on the Believe podcast networks. All right. We'll see everybody on Friday. Have a great day. I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow with my kiddo. So everybody wish me luck. 10 hours with the 3.5-year-old at Disneyland. Oh no.